that had to happen was that my mother was expecting the third child in our family, so we had to wait until he was born. And when he was 3 weeks old, we left Texas on this amazing journey. And my mother and father's family thought they had lost their mind, but we did it anyway. But take a look at this. This is what we spent. This was the total, $272.64. Now, some of you spent more than that on a drink card already. And that's a family of 5 with an infant across the United States. Things have certainly changed. We got to Seattle, and we put the car on this Baranoff, it's called. And I saw some young man earlier today. Actually, later on, I celebrated my 9th birthday on that boat as we were coming out. But we flew by Pan American all the way to Fairbanks from Seattle. I don't have time to tell you some of the adventures. I will just give you a little hint. This plane that we were on, the one like it, was a Pan American Clipper. We flew to Fairbanks, we got out. Remember I told you my dad was a pastor, we had a brand new baby. On the way back, in a storm that our pilot avoided, this plane crashed right outside of Ketchikan, the worst crash that Pan American ever had. Everybody was killed, every single person. And on board, there was a minister and there was a family with a baby. And there wasn't good communication at that time, so my parents' family thought we had already perished before we got there. But we were safe. But to prove it, there are the tickets from October 24th, 1947, thank you. And my brother was 4 weeks old when we landed. And we found ourselves in a brand new place. We had never seen anything like this. We'd never seen snow. So I got to wear this cute little snowsuit. But once we got there, my parents wanted to introduce my older brother and me to everything that Alaska had to offer. Now, you'll have a chance this week to meet these amazing dogs. These sled dogs are amazing. Now, they're trim and they're neat, and they run like crazy. They run like the wind. They can run 50 miles flat out. But I went up on top of the glacier last year and drove a dog sled, and I was amazed. These dogs bark and bark and bark until you start sledding, and then they're just like a sewing machine. They love to run. Now, we went to the carnival. Now, this is a vintage photo. You can tell by the cars. This was number 19 sled. You see a man holding the dogs in front, holding here and holding back there. If they run before their time, he's number 19, they're disqualified. They like to run so much, they have to hold them back. Now, keep this picture in mind because I'm going to reference it in a minute. This we also saw at the carnival, and we saw parkas like this. My older brother had been to school, and he hadn't seen anything like that, so he was interested, so my dad inquired. When early traders came, it wasn't just the Russians, it was the Russians, the French, the American, the Spanish. When we came, we traded to the Native Americans things they didn't have. Buttons, coins, this fabric, tuberculosis, measles, things they didn't have before. And they liked these trinkets, but they loved that gingham. So they started putting it on the outside with the fur on the inside. Now this here is the dog sled race, and those 3 pictures, and there's where they're racing. I want you to keep those in mind because they were not taken near the river, the Chena River. They weren't taken close to the river. They weren't taken beside the river. The carnival was all on the river. So everything here is on the river. And so you can show you how cold it was. We saw this at the carnival. They call it the blanket toss. And usually the women can jump higher than the men. This lady is wearing what we call mucklucks. I've seen Eskimo women when I was young with their teeth completely chewed off from chewing on the leather to tenderize it so that they could sew it with it. But what happens is it's a big skin from seals or whatever. They have handles on it, and the men do this with it, and the women jump, and you have it in your backyard. What do you call it? The trampoline. Absolutely. Also, we found this at the carnival, the Eskimo yo-yo. Now, I have brought one with me, and I'm going to try to demonstrate it. And if I do well, you can clap. And if I don't do well, I'll keep doing well until I do well. How's that sound? This is the Eskimo yo-yo. Let's try it and see if I can do it first time. You ready? Are you ready? Yeah. I kind of walk around, but on the moving trip, I don't know. Last week, these are not easy to find. Last week, one of the ladies came up to me. She was so excited. She finally found some, so I don't know where you can find them. Well, This picture my mother made as parkas, and that's me there. But what I want you to see is this. We lived in a little one-bedroom house. That little window there was where we slept. We were in the basement. But one bedroom. But what I'm showing you here is what we call sawdust boxes. And basically, what they are, they were just, you don't have them now because they're better insulation, but they literally put sawdust around all the houses for insulation. Now, while we were living there, the Korean War ratcheted up, and once again, Alaska was on the forefront of what could be disaster. And so we experienced blackouts and air raids and so forth. Now, what an interesting thing happened. They decided they did not have enough fortification at Ladd Air Force Base in Fairbanks, so they would bring up a whole contingency from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So they brought them up in these flying boxcars. They brought men, tanks, trucks, everything necessary for battle. Now, the next picture I'm showing you, I don't think you'll ever see a picture like it again. I've never seen one.